Hello and welcome back to my FPL channel. I am FPL D Unit and thank you to everyone that has tuned in recently. I've finally smashed through the 500 mark. The next mark obviously is 1,000 subscribers, so please feel free to press the subscribe button. Make sure you like the video as well. Today you're here though for my early thoughts ahead of game week 25, which is definitely going to be another double game week. And look, my reflections and my notes upon what I've learnt so far in game week 24. Because look, it's been an interesting week, and I don't know, like many of you, you might have made the same kind of mistakes that I have made in my particular team. And look, I called it right. Playing the assistant manager chip, I've been very happy with. In terms of some of the other things that I've done this week, yeah, we're going to talk into that. It's going to be fun. It's going to be an interesting episode. You can laugh at me all you want because, honestly, it's been a bit of a disaster. Ironically, I haven't actually dropped that many places, so I'm only currently about 16,000 something or other. So without further ado, smash a like, smash a sub, and let's jump into my game week 24, my current notes. So, Moh Salah Triple captain pays off. He's completely paid off. I was vindicated in thinking that this was definitely the best week to triple captain Moh Salah. He's on 16 points currently. He was definitely the captaincy choice. At the moment, he's going to outscore any other person in the game unless Cole Palmer has a worldie tonight. I'm recording this obviously prior to the Chelsea and West Ham game tonight, and I'll be releasing this before then as well. And then obviously we've still got the Everton Liverpool game, which is miles away. So, look, we're just going to talk through some of the things that I've noticed now. Selling or benching Chris Wood hurt the rank. It really hurt my rank. I didn't sell him, but lots of people sold him for Cody Gakpo, for Ndiaye, to free up a third Liverpool slot, to free up a slot to bring in the assistant manager. I never considered selling Chris Wood, and until a minute before the deadline, in the deadline day stream, I didn't even consider benching him. And then all of a sudden I just thought, oh no, I feel like Man United are going to do really well. And I benched Chris Wood for Ahmad, and it has cost me 15 points. It's a 15-point swing. Ahmad got 2 points. Man United were worthless. We'll get onto that in a little bit. But that hurt. That really, really hurt. I don't know what else to say. It just hurt. Seeing Chris Wood, Woody the Woodpecker, I love this man. And I think he's probably going to be close to a season-long hold now, because I'm going to play him this week against Fulham. He'll probably blank in 25, because that's what happens. They score a hat-trick and you're going to play him, and then he'll probably get nothing. And then, yeah. I don't know. I'm a bit salty about it because of the fact that I outfought myself. And this is probably the first time this season where I've actually outfought myself. And like, I've left another massive amount of points on my bench. Like, every week I'm leaving like close to 15 odd points on my bench at the moment. It hurts. And I keep getting them wrong. So, not happy about that, but it is what it is. Laugh all you want. Write in the comments if you sold Wood. Write in the comments if you benched him. I know Ahmed's in the same position as me. He'd be probably inside the top 1,000 teams if he'd actually played Chris Wood. But unlike, exactly the same as me, we both benched him. I'm not sure the reasoning why Ahmed benched him, but my reasoning was definitely flawed. I'm not backing in Man United anymore. Even though they're my team, they're done. I'm looking to move their assets out. Foden finally blanks. And thankfully, one of the good calls was I moved him out of my team. I looked at the fixtures. I looked at when he's playing in the Champions League. And look, I love Phil Foden. He's 100% going to be coming back into my team probably in 6 weeks' time after game week 29, probably on my wild card. But he has been a faithful servant to the D Unit and the FPL D Unit's team. Rude to forget United will not be forgetting Phil Foden, and we'll be coming back for you, baby. Thank you for your service. I did think, realistically, ironically, if I'd actually kept Phil Foden, he would have been on my bench if I hadn't made a transfer. And if I had 0.5 million in my bank, I would have done it. So that way I would have played the assistant manager chip on David Moyes. Unfortunately, I only had 0.3 in the bank, so I had to make the transfer. And realistically, of my front 8 players, it made the most sense to get rid of Phil Foden this week. Realistically, maybe I should have gone back and just got rid of Robinson for Mikolenko, who's obviously kept a clean sheet in the first game. But these are all hindsight things, and I just got to back myself in. Most of the season I've been calling it right. I did call getting rid of Phil Foden correctly instead of getting rid of Bruno. Ironically, Foden outscored Bruno by 1 point, but I still think long term, Bruno's on penalties, Foden's not, and the fixtures for the next 5 or so weeks is definitely better for Man United than it is for Man City. So yeah, correct play there. Tottenham, spring surprise. Where was that? I did not see a Tottenham win coming against Brentford, and I did not see a Brian Mbeumo and Wissa combination blanking. Like, Wissa had over 1 XG involvement. Brian Mbeumo wasn't far behind. We'll have a look at them in a little bit, but that's just disappointing. Like, the double-ups this week in my team have killed me. Other than the Liverpool double-up in my defence, which actually came through, ironically, that was the play I was hoping it was going to be last week. If that actually kept that clean sheet against Ipswich, I'd be laughing and it'd be so much better off. But unfortunately, it is what it is. We'll talk about Trent's injury in a little bit as well. But yeah, just disappointing. Man United continue woeful league form. Like, why do I keep getting sucked in by my own team? I watch them every week. I think the Thursday night game, the Europa League is such a poor standard because they actually look good there, and I just expected them to do better against Palace. But Palace now have not lost, I think, any away games in like the last 7 or 8 games or something. The last time they lost in the league away from home was quite a while ago. So Palace are actually turning into a pretty damn good team. Yeah, I just didn't see it and it hurt. And the fact that people were playing Mateta and Wood and I had Wissa and and I benched Wood, definitely hurt my rank. So look, the Sunday night games killed me. I had 4 players play for a grand total of 7 points. Ahmad, Bruno, and Mbeumo and Wissa combined for 7 points. It's just not good enough. It's just unlucky though. Like, the fixtures said that it would be better results. And ironically, that's probably why I'll end up with a red arrow this week rather than a green arrow. Obviously, as well as benching Chris Wood. That was just dumb. But yeah, it is what it is. Wolves done Villa, showing the power of the table bonus. Like, Pereira and Wolves got 20 points on the weekend, beating Villa 2-0. Like, that is the power of the table bonus. That is the power of the assistant manager chip. Some people actually went there as well and got 20 points straight off the bat. And look, that is why I've been preaching David Moyes was better than Arne Slot. So at the moment, and we'll have a look at the comparison in a little bit, but David Moyes is on 12 points, Arne Slot's on 10. Like, we'll get into that very, very shortly, I promise you. And we're going to talk a bit more about the assistant manager chip and the power of the chip and the ability to take it on in a double game week. That's why I ended up changing my triple captain to this, because at the moment, Moh Salah's triple captaining has beaten my assistant manager, but I've got 1 extra game. And I'll give my thoughts on what I think will happen in that Everton Liverpool game, but that's just what I think. Selling Newcastle assets and loading up on Bournemouth assets is currently the popular thing early on. Transfer doors for this week. Lots of people. I think Kluivert's the most bought in, followed by Chris Wood. I mean, if you look at the fixtures for Chris Wood, it's probably not a good time to buy him, but lots of people probably buying him back that sold him, thinking, oh my God, I can't believe I sold him and he just dumped a hat-trick on me. That's just unfortunate. But yeah, look, Newcastle are having a tough run of fixtures, and if they do blank in game week 29, that's going to be interesting as well. Ironically, Arsenal thumped Man City 5-1, showing that they can score multiple goals. So it's not completely out of the possibilities that Arsenal can go to Newcastle and win by more than 3 goals. Like, it's possible. We just saw them score 5 against Man City. I would argue that Man City's still probably a better team than Newcastle. I just feel like Newcastle probably looking ahead to Arsenal game, thinking we need to get to the final, and maybe that's why they played so poorly on the weekend. I'm not 100% sure. Who will double in game week 25? We still don't know. At this moment, it's most likely to be Liverpool and Aston Villa being the 2 teams that double, which makes the assistant manager slot really good. And who do you move the assistant manager to? Which manager do you go to? And who's going to blank in game week 29? Well, let's have a look at those possibilities. At the moment, Tottenham, you never know what you're going to get with Tottenham. Tottenham can go to Liverpool and probably uphold the 1-0 leg advantage they've got, and all of a sudden it's Fulham versus Tottenham that's doubling, and then you've got to work out if you're going to go for Poch or if you're going to go for Silva. In my mind, I'm probably likely to go for Silva, I think, just because I think they can beat possibly both teams. But Spurs have it in them. They've got Man United coming to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. No table bonus involved there, but I would back Tottenham in to beat Man United the way they've been playing. But Man United, the way they play, that might actually suit them going to Spurs. They might be better. It might be like when they went against Arsenal and Liverpool away from home. I don't know. I'm just not sure. But it's just one of them things that I think might be right. But look, let's talk about the assistant manager. Arne Slot and David Moyes. This was the most popular topic prior to the deadline on my stream. Like, lots of people talking about Arne Slot. All these other content creators banging on about the safety and Arne Slot. I am all about a little bit of risk. If you haven't noticed already on my channel, I'm very big on putting in my own differentials, which is why some of my differentials haven't quite worked for me this week. It's just been unfortunate more than anything else. I didn't have the Foden magic to rely on, which has definitely helped me over the last 5 or 6 weeks because I moved him and he also didn't perform. But my other ones just didn't perform, and I obviously benched Chris Wood thinking that was a smart move, and it wasn't a smart move. Moyes versus Slot, though, but no one could have foreseen Brighton getting spanked by 7 goals. Like, honestly, what do you mean? David Moyes. No one saw a 4-0 win against Leicester at home. He got 4 points for 4 goals, 6 points for the win, which gave him 10, and 2 points for the clean sheet. Now, Arne Slot went to Bournemouth. Could argue they were a little bit lucky. Bournemouth really should have scored in this game. If it wasn't for some Allison magic, which I was very happy that he was in my team, and getting the clean sheet and the 2 bonus points that were on offer there. But this could have been a real dud for Liverpool, and all of a sudden, David Moyes would look like magic. Like, absolutely like magic. The thing is now, he's 2 points up on Slot. Now, even if Liverpool win, and it's like say it's a 2-1 win to Liverpool, Moyes will obviously end up on 13 points because he'll get the extra point. But Arne Slot would only end up on 16, 17, 18 points, which is not much difference. Plus, you only had to pay 0.5 million for Moyes, 1.5 million for Slot. If Moyes somehow gets a draw, heaven forbid, or even a win, Moyes is going to get 30 points. Like, if Moyes gets a win against Arne Slot, he will get 30 points. And all of a sudden, not playing the triple captain this week feels really good. Like, this is the power of the assistant manager. This is why I'm like doing this comparison. So, for example, Arne Slot wins against Everton, which is the expected result. Let's not lie. 8 out of 10 games, Liverpool are going to win, right? At least, I would say. In the current form they're in. However, they've got an extra 2 games to play before the Everton game. Trent may be injured. Like, the Liverpool team is facing a condensation or a build-up of fixtures, which is why I don't think the Arne Slot play is overly good moving forward. So, even if Liverpool double again and you are on Arne Slot, I'd be more than tempted to move it to Unai Emery. They've got the Ipswich at home fixture, which you would think is a banker, a bit like the David Moyes against Leicester fixture. And then it's a free hit against Liverpool. Yes, Liverpool are the best team in the league. You'd expect them to win. But will they win 3 or 4 games away from home? I'm not sure they will. And I'm not sure they beat Everton. I've actually got Everton down for either a 0-0 draw, which is the best case scenario for my team. And it would actually give me probably a green arrow as well. So I'm definitely barracking for a 0-0 draw here. Or heaven forbid, Everton win like a 1-0 or a 2-0. It will be pandemonium. Like, David Moyes will get 19 points guaranteed from that result. Or 18 at best if they win like a 2-1. I also think it's quite possible Everton could win 2-1, you know. I don't know why. I just got a sneaky suspicion. That's why I was so adamant to go on Moyes. So for me, I'm really excited about David Moyes. I'm happy I went with it. Even if it doesn't work out and I only get 12 points, it's not a bad 12 points. Like, it's a safe score. And then I get another free hit next week. Like, we'll talk about my moves for next week, but that's the power of the assistant manager. I paid 1 million less, which means I don't really have 1 million more invested in my team. We'll talk about it in a little bit. Like, I literally made a transfer so I could only have the amount available for the highest price manager. But it's allowed me to make another move this week, which I've already done, and we'll get to at the end of this video. But like, this is what I mean. Like, I don't think there's no upside to Arne Slot. If Arne Slot doesn't win the games, it's a dud decision. And I think I'd rather take the banking fixture, like David Moyes has already had, 12 points, already in the bank. It's a free hit against Liverpool. I just love it. And that's why if Liverpool do overturn Spurs and it's Unai Emery, I'm 100% moving my chip to Unai Emery over Arne Slot. Just that chance of that table bonus would make the chip so much more powerful. That goes from like a 30-point chip over 3 weeks to potentially a 50, 60-point chip if one of these results comes in. And I'm more than happy to roll the dice in chasing of those points. So yeah, for me, I just really love it. I think that's great moving forward. Now, on to 2 players that really stood out this weekend. We're going to pay tribute to them, even though one of them has really killed my rank. Chris, the Woody, the Woodpecker. What a man. What a man. What else is there to be said about this guy? 17 points. His first hat-trick of the season. When will he stop scoring? Does anyone know when this man will stop scoring? His 3 goals came from obviously 1 penalty and 2. Like, I was sitting there watching the game with the missus, and I said to him, I was like, can you believe this 33-year-old New Zealander? Look at him. How's he scoring these goals? He just keeps delivering the wood. And he's just there. A simple tap in for the second goal, and then bit of a soft penalty. Let's not beat around the bush here. Morgan Gibbs-White, that happens on so many corners and they never give it. But VAR, once the penalty was given, was never going to overturn it. So, I mean, what is there to say? Other than the fact that two of the last 3 hauls that Chris Wood has had, I've had him on my bench. I just need to stop benching this man. He is just killing me when he returns. So I've had him on my team. That's part of the bonus. He actually went down in price. He was the most sold transfer ahead of the deadline of game week 24, and he just dumped a hat-trick on all the people that sold him. It hurts. It hurts even more when you've got him and you're not even starting him in your field. I'm literally sitting here tonight going, can Cole Palmer please just tear a hamstring before the game? Like, anything. 17 points off the bench. He's my first sub on the bench, but he's going to be stuck there, and we'll talk through the reasoning behind why I did it, but, like, Chris Wood, what a man. Obviously, the next 3 games are much harder. Fulham away, not an easy fixture. Newcastle away, not an easy fixture. And then it's Arsenal at home. How many got, like, realistically, I'm going to play him against Fulham just because I have to, really. But I don't feel like a necessary need. Maybe he'll do well against Newcastle, because Newcastle have been a bit hit and miss of late. But I definitely won't be playing him against Arsenal. That Arsenal defence, surely Chris Wood can't return against them. But I'm holding him because Ipswich in 29 looks brilliant. Maybe there's another hat-trick on the horizon pretty soon. And then it's this guy. Killed me yesterday. Absolutely killed me. But Jean-Philippe Mateta, again, another very popular transfer out for Cody Gapco and others like Whistler and stuff like this. When I sold Jackson, I did think strongly about bringing in Mateta, but because of the fact that I think that Crystal Palace are going to blank in game week 29, I can't afford to have Mateta and Isaac, both in my team, blanking in game week 29. I need actual forwards playing, which is why I went for Whistler instead. Whistler's been desperately unlucky, hasn't been good for me. But Jean-Philippe Mateta, 13 points, 2 goals, expected goal involvement again at 2.25. Not all of that was made up of goals either. There was a bit of an assist threat there as well. The next 3 look amazing as well. Everton at home. I mean, Everton have been defending really well, so maybe that's not an easy fixture. But then Fulham away, Aston Villa at home. Not bad fixtures for Mateta. Great player. Wish I had him. He killed me this week as well. So, look, those are the 2 blokes that I thought have been really good. And with that being said, we are just going to jump now into what my team looks like moving forward. So my team as it stands, 75 points for this game week. Assistant manager has been played. It hasn't been the worst. It hasn't been the best. As we can see there, Alisson Becker 9 points, Hall 1, Alexander-Arnold 6. He's obviously now, he should be yellow flagged. He's not, but he definitely should be. Milenkovic obviously did well. I did expect Nottingham Forest to bounce back. I just didn't expect him to bounce back with a 7-0, but I was very glad that he obviously returned. First time in 3 weeks in my team he's returned since I brought him in. Then we're going to talk about the disappointments. So Bruno Fernandes, 1 point. Brian Mbeumo, 2 points. Ahmad, 2 points. Wissa, 2 points. Isaac, 2 points. Salah still to play. He's captain, 32 points so far for him there. Palmer, obviously still to play tonight. David Moyes, 12 points as the manager. Fabianski probably not going to play. 17 points from Chris Wood on my bench. That's where I've been hurt this week. Robinson 4, Kirkes 1. If we have a look at my current rank as it stands, I'm down 5,989 places. Not fantastic. However, that could become a green arrow depending on what happens in the Everton-Liverpool game. Now, because of the fact I don't own any Everton players, if it's a 0-0, I probably will be about the same rank I started the week at, which would be about 10k. I'm at currently 9 points off my safety score, so I am relying on David Moyes. But if David Moyes pulls out a rabbit out of a hat and he actually somehow gets a draw or a win, I'm definitely probably going to be about even to where I started the week on. Even if Chris Wood, with him stuck on the bench with 17 points, like I'm literally sitting here wishing for a Cole Palmer. Like I just need him to like whatever. So transfers for this week, I can tell you that I've actually already made an early move. Now, I wouldn't recommend doing that. We've got FA Cup, we've got Carabao Cup to come, but Justin Kluivert's going to continue to rise in price. He rose in price overnight. I didn't want to lose out on that price increase. Again, I wanted to get rid of my double up on Man United. So the most logical move, because of the fact I didn't need the money, was just to get rid of Ahmad for Kluivert, which is what I've done. That is my one transfer I've done this week so far. Realistically, because of the fact that I wasted 2 transfers a couple of weeks ago, like moving out Jackson and that, like I didn't realise I was going to be playing the assistant manager chip now. I'm 100% going to be taking a -4. So I've made my free transfer and I'm definitely going to be moving my manager off Moyes once I learn who's going to be playing the double up. So think about Arne Slot, but I just don't think it's a good play. So if the Aston Villa-Liverpool game goes ahead, I'm definitely going to be moving to Unai Emery. If somehow Arsenal overturn that result, I could consider Arteta. But again, I just don't think that's really logical. And I definitely wouldn't go to Maresca. Chelsea are not in a good run of form. And then if Spurs somehow overcome Liverpool, I don't know who I'm going to go. I will have to weigh up the odds of Silva and Ange. They'll both have an option, a chance at table bonus, but they're also both playing each other. And I feel like that game could be a draw. So like that's a really hard one to pick, but it's definitely something I'm considering. I mean, I feel like there's more chance of Ange beating Man United than there is of Fulham beating Forest. That's the way I might look at it. And then I'll just go for the table bonus in that particular fixture. But I'm expecting it to be Aston Villa versus Liverpool. In that case, it will be Unai Emery I move the transfer to. And I will take a -4 to do it. Now, some of the other moves that I may be forced into, there we go, Trent is yellow flagged here. I could have to move out on Trent. Now, in this case, I do think Villa will score against Liverpool. So I might just move out Trent for if he doesn't get up for the Everton game. If we hear news ahead of the gameweek 25 deadline that he's not capable and he's out like for the medium term or short term, I potentially will get rid of him because I've got obviously Man City away in 26, not ideal, 27, 28, and then they're going to blank in 29. So realistically, he's probably a sell. Could I bring in Canade? Yes. I just don't think it's a good move. I'm probably likely to go back to Timber. To be brutally honest. Either that, yeah, I think that's probably the play. Like Arsenal's defence moving forward looks pretty good. We'll just have a quick look. Timber obviously he got booked again, so he's now on 7 yellow cards for the season, which is a little concerning when we're only 24 games in. He's 100% going to miss. But realistically, I just want him through to like our wild card and 30. Because if we have a look at that, I mean, he's got it's not actually a nice fixture run for Arsenal. It's a short-term play. He might not actually be a better move. It could actually be worth just doubling up on the Bournemouth defence, to be honest with you. Like, they've been super good. They did obviously concede a few chances against Liverpool, but that's to be expected. They're the best team in the league. But like the run coming up for Bournemouth makes you think that potentially I could play a double up in defence. Southampton away in 25, Wolves at home 26, Brighton away in 27, Spurs away in 28. 3 of the next 4 away from home. But then Brentford, Ipswich, West Ham, Fulham. It's such a nice run. I just don't like doubling up on defence. I'll have to do some work about that. But I'm just hoping that Trent's fit and I don't have to make a transfer there. So yeah, realistically at the moment, I'm probably going to play Kirkes away, Milinkovic, and probably Robinson if Trent doesn't get up. And I may just take the -4 and just bench Trent. I don't think it's realistically worth a -4. It might be. Maybe I'm being silly and I should just bring in Canade. But I've got to waste -4 moving out Moyes for probably Emery. The rest of the team looks fairly decent. I mean, the Brentford boys were unlucky. Look at Wissa here, 1.02 expected goal involvement. I saw him miss a chance from inside the 6-yard box. Like any other day that goes in. But the next 3, there's no reason to panic on Brian and Buemo or Wissa. The next 3 amazing fixtures. West Ham away, Leicester away, Everton at home, Aston Villa, Bournemouth. The next 5 are really good up until that blank game week. So for me, they're staying. I'm not thinking about it. I'm just hoping that over the next few weeks, they'll eradicate the problems that obviously happened this week. Bruno Fernandes is probably going to stay only because of the fact that between now and 29, Ipswich and Leicester, they've got some more time to make some signings in the January transfer window. It's not too hard to believe that potentially it could come through. Look, this is the first time my squad value's actually gone down this week as well. So it's gone down to 108.1. So that's not ideal. It has obviously gone up because of Kluivert, but I've dropped 0.2 from the sale of Ahmad. And obviously got the assistant manager in play. Look, it's just one of them ones. At the moment, the way I'm lining up, very early doors for game week 25, would be like this. So Kirkes, Milinkovic, Palmer, Bruno, Salah, Mbeumo, Kluivert. Wood starting with Wissa. At the moment, I've actually got Isaac on the bench. But realistically, I'll probably bring him back on. I might even put Bruno Fernandes on the bench. That's probably the play. Robinson potentially may come in as well for Milinkovic. I'm not sure which way I'm going to go there. And obviously, Moyes will become Unai Emery at this moment in time, based on what we expect the fixtures to be. I'm going to do it. Look, I'm going to wrap it up there. Been waffling on for too long. Realistically, how many more points am I going to get? I hope I can get up towards 100. I mean, I would be on 90 currently if I'd played Chris Wood over Ahmad. Like that's how much it hurts. So hopefully I can get it right. I mean, I'm miles in front of the average still, so it's not the worst week in the world, but I am playing the assistant manager, and I really wanted to be getting green arrows on the assistant manager, but like I suppose when you're this high, you've got to have some sort of realistic expectations. If you get a Chris Wood decision like I have wrong, it's probably not going to look too good for your team. So yeah, I'm going to be back after the January transfer window is closed. Probably going to release a video on Wednesday talking about what we're likely to see in terms of new signings. Like Marcus Rashford's just signed a loan with Aston Villa. Is he a relevant option? I'm going to look at all the transfer January dealings and let you know if they're good buys or not. And potentially you might need to move from, potentially if there's a double game week for some of them this week as well. So make sure you drop a like before you leave. Smash the subscribe button if you've already done so. And thanks for watching. That's been the D Unit.